All right, it truly is the calm before the storm. Tom Barnes, Chicago scene in Jefferson Park at H&B True Value. I'm talking to the owner, Joe Gillman. Joe helped me out last year when we had our big blizzard that we had. This year, I'm talking to him about all things snowblowers, how to get it started, because if you're like me and forgot to drain your gas out at the end of the season, it's not starting. Joe's got some tips for that. Also, can't forget about sledding and also getting your car out, because you don't want to be stuck like one of these guys where you can't get your car out. So Joe's got some tools and necessities you can use, including rock salt, calcium chloride, the whole thing now for the Chicago scene. So let's go and talk to Joe inside the old H&B True Value. All right, so I'm inside H&B True Value here in Jefferson Park, and I'm here with my friend Joe Gillman. Joe,
how you doing today?
It's been a while, but I thought I'd come back and visit you because we're talking all things snowblowers, winter, shovels, the whole thing, and you're the expert, so I came to talk to you. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm glad you came this time before the blizzard starts.
Yeah, I figured I'd try to knock it out beforehand when you're and not do it when you're as busy as you'll ever be all year long.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so this is the good news here, is that you got lots of salt. This is the normal stuff.
I got salt. I got all kinds of ice melter. There's cheaper stuff and better stuff.
Yeah.
Basic alley, in the alley, you don't care that much. Regular rock salt do fine.
Right, because the alley's not really anything with the plants or anything, right?
The better stuff that blends, safer on the grass, safer on the sidewalk, safer on the pet's paws.
Right.
It's a blend of salt with other chemicals. The calcium chloride, which is little white pellets,
But
very good. That's the best one.
why is that the best? Just because it's not going to really hurt
need
any?
as much. It melts down to 30, 40 below.
Yeah, you even have people take it out to somebody's car?
They're taking it out to the car right now as we speak. They can use this up on the roof where you don't want to damage anything. You can use it in the gutters. Regular salt will ruin it. Even the blend would hurt the gutters most likely. Won't hurt the ground, but for gutters, roofing, sidewalks where you don't want to really damage anything, calcium chloride is the safest.
This stuff right here. And I noticed in the back there's that little bucket. And that bucket's where people throw stuff on the roof to avoid the ice damming, right?
Right. The bucket has calcium chloride in. That's calcium chloride in pucks, puck form. You throw them up on the roof. Every foot and a half, you try to get one up there, or you can get them into your gutter if you have roof dam already from the previous snow. Very good. You just throw it up there, melts a hole in there, works its way down to the gutter.
Fantastic. And it looks like you got plenty of shovels, because you know there's somebody tomorrow who's going to be like, oh wait, there's snow coming, I haven't had a shovel in 2 years.
I'm stacking pretty well. I went through quite a bit already, but I try to keep up with it and try to keep enough for the season. Even if I get stuck with it, shovels don't go bad.
No.
We'll have them for next year.
Yep, it's going to snow next year. Right?
Ice melter takes up a little space, so
Yeah.
I try to watch my quantities on that. But I still have plenty stock.
But the fun... Go ahead.
One other thing
Yeah.
real quick, there is also stuff for the pets, much safer on their paws.
Oh, okay.
It's usually magnesium chloride in there, which is a type of salt, and it does melt down to a lower temperature. Melts down to 15 below.
Well, that's good stuff.
But it's safer on pets' paws.
What's the price ranges from something like the ones for the pets versus the rock salt?
The pet is the most expensive. A 40-pound bag is about $28. A 50-pound bag of calcium is about $23.
Got it.
But I also have them in smaller 20-pounders, 25-pounders. Your cheapest is rock salt, like we talked about. That's about $8, $9 for a 50-pound bag.
Not bad. I mean,
Not
that's
bad.
the stuff for the alley.
Use it out in the alley. Some people use it on their sidewalks.
Or in front of their house, right? If they're trying to shovel out their car.
Right. You can use it out in the street. If you're just renting and your sidewalk isn't in great shape to begin with, and you're not worried about it, the cheapest alternative is salt. But it does stop melting at about 10, 15 degrees.
Right, which can happen here at any time.
Right, so it might be just throwing it down the drain.
It looks like you got stuff ready for the cars, you know, any ice scraping stuff for the cars, because people are going to need that. A lot of people in Chicago have to park out on the street.
Yeah, we got a fair amount of scrapers and snow brushes. I have other shovels too that are pusher type versus just a lifting type.
Oh yeah, look at these right here.
Some you can just push it to the curb if you have a longer driveway.
Make it
Instead of
somebody
just
else's
lifting.
problem.
Yeah, leave it for the neighbor.
Yeah, leave it for the neighbor for sure.
And there's small containers, like a shaker, of the calcium and the pet friendly.
Yeah.
You just you open it up like a salt shaker and shake it along your sidewalk.
And then you got the fun stuff for people, especially in Jefferson Park, who go to the Caldwell Woods.
Right. Kids, we got some sleds. I got more coming in at the end of the week, and I've gone through quite a few, but we still have some stock on them.
And the big thing people who haven't drained their snow blowers. Let's head to the back, and I'm going to
Okay.
ask you about the snow blowers. It's vital for people who haven't drained their snow blowers. If they haven't done that and it's been sitting in the garage, they might have a problem starting it up, right?
You might have a problem. If it's a 2-cycle machine where you just mix gas and oil in the same container, you might have a better chance because some of those oils have stabilizer in it, which doesn't keep the gas from gumming up.
Sure.
But if you just use regular 2-cycle oil with the gas, it has a tendency of gumming up and the gas gets moisture in it. It's always best to start the year with fresh gas.
Right. So to avoid that, at the end or when we get into springtime, drain it out or let the snowblower run until it runs out.
That's what I do. Let it run dry at the end of the season is the best thing you can do for it, because nothing's going to sit in the carburetor bowl for 6 months or 8 months and gel up.
Right. And we're going to get to that in a second. We'll do the carburetors. Yeah, that's the carburetor. But before we even get to the carburetor, I think a lot of people don't know that you need to change the rubber fittings on the what throws the snow, right? And that's what we're looking at here.
Right. The augers.
Augers. Thank you.
If augers or rubber pads wear out, no matter how good your snowblower is running, it's not going to move snow.
Right.
Because that's what throws it out of the chute. I changed mine at home this past week. There's little dots on here that show like a wear mark. You got about 3/8 to a half inch of wear that you could use. Once it gets below there, if you can stick your fingers behind the rubber and the back section of your machine, if your fingers fit behind there, they're worn out.
So how long would you say, how many years on average? I know it depends on the season and how much snow, but
It depends how rough you are on the machine. I've had my machine for about 15, 16 years, and this is about the 3rd time I've changed them only.
so 5 years around that for an average
4
winter.
or 5 years.
So
And
this is important.
It is very important because your machine will be running and you'll go into the snow and it's not going anywhere. It's spitting it out 2 feet in front of you when it should be spitting it out 20 feet in front of you or 30 feet.
Right. And another big component of that is the scraper right here that you're talking about.
Scraper bar, if you do go to change your rubbers, you got to change the scraper bar because one works with the other. The scraper scrapes the ground, which lifts up the snow so the paddles can shoot it out.
Right. And that's just a different kind of scraper for different models.
Every
right?
model's different. Every model's different. I have a few in stock. We don't carry a full line. We can order them if you're going to do it yourself. But I do have some stock in the common ones, the neighborhood ones, the Toros, MTDs. We have a few common ones that we carry all the time.
What are the prices running on something like this?
Set of paddles, there's 2 paddles usually on this model, 40 to 50 bucks for the rubber. And the scraper bars vary between 10 and 15 bucks.
So once you figure that out and you get that taken care of, you go to start it. It's not starting because you forgot to drain out the gas in the springtime. So what's the quick recommendation?
The quickest way, as long as we'll start with fresh gas, hopefully.
Yes,
But
fresh gas too,
Right,
right?
fresh gas, and mix the right amount of oil in it. If you're not sure about mixing oil and gas and you don't know how much, because there's different machines use different percentages of oil to gas, the easiest is buying this. It's called Opti 2. It's a synthetic oil, 1 per gallon. No matter what the ratio of the machine is, this is what I use at home.
Oh, really? So that no matter what?
If it's 32 to 1, 40 to 1, 50 to 1, it doesn't matter with this. You just put 1 in a gallon, swish it around. It has stabilizer in it, so the gas will last longer, and it doesn't smoke as much.
Oh.
Some people just like to use an old-fashioned oil.
That's what I use.
Toro oil, which is okay too.
Yeah. But you know what you're doing? Use that.
If your machine's 50 to 1, you use the right one, which is 2.6 ounces in a gallon.
I don't know that we're doing math today, Joe.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, I'll teach you some math too.
What do we got here?
This stuff here is actual fuel.
Oh, really?
I started using this stuff a couple years ago. It's a little more expensive, but this has a shelf life of about a year to a year and a half.
Interesting.
So it won't gum up.
So that's a replacement for going to the gas station.
Yeah. It has the
I didn't know
oil
that.
mixed in it already. Like I said, it's a little pricier. Doesn't smoke hardly at all. Doesn't smell hardly at all when it's burning. And this is just the gas for the newer units, which are 4-cycle, where you don't mix gas and oil. It has a separate compartment for the oil, like your car.
Okay.
Then you would just use the pure gas and make sure you check the oil in that.
Oh, fantastic.
These don't get mixed. It has a separate compartment.
Sure. So this is so you don't have to mess with any of this, or that, or any of that.
This kind of went together before with the regular gas, but now if you buy this, Like I said, it is a little pricey, so some people still opt for this. But if you're going to opt for one of these, I would recommend the Opti 2.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's fun
good stuff.
So another quick thing is the carburetor and spark plugs, right?
Right. If it starts starting, the first thing to do, the easiest way, is make sure you take out the spark plug and get a new one.
Right. And if you don't know what a spark plug is, that's what it looks like, but you might have other problems if you don't know what one looks like, but that's what it looks like right there.
They're fairly simple to get to, usually on a snowblower.
That back panel of the snowblower.
Back panel.
Right. And that's where they'll have that little throttle for...
the choke. Yeah, they'll have the choke arm so you can choke the carburetor to get it started. And then you'll see the little butterfly moved in your carburetor. That keeps choking it, so you get more gas to start it. Once it starts, you release the choke, runs normal.
But that's what gums up when people forget to drain the gas.
It gums up in here, and it gums up in the bowl.
So
This bowl here is where there's always going to be gas sitting in there.
Okay.
Unless you took it apart completely.
Got it.
Or if you disconnected the hose, most of it would suck out of there.
Right. So that's how you can drain it out too.
Right.
And then you use... Go ahead.
Then if you get it going, or you're trying to get it going and it's sputtering, it's not firing up, you get a can of starting fluid. While you have that panel off, you'll see where the carburetor hole is, the cup, where the butterfly is. You give it a couple little sprays, and while it's still wet, because it evaporates fast, it's ether mainly. Give it a couple sprays, turn the key on, and try firing it. That should fire it up, which even if you have old gas, it will still fire something. You know it's going to run if it fires even for a minute or two.
Right. And it'll burn off that old gas and
the old gas what's in there.
Unclog it.
You're using the ether. Right.
So, this is fantastic stuff here. So you have the auger rubber fittings that go over it, right?
Goes on the auger, the rubber paddles,
Rubber paddles, the scraper. And then this might be the magic cure for a lot of people. This
stuff is very good if you're going to use gas and go to the gas station and get a fresh gallon. Take one of those in a gallon, switch it around, and you're good because it has stabilizer too, which keeps it from gumming up.
And then you have the actual fuel that you sell here in the store, so people don't even want to go to the gas station and buy a gas can. They just come buy this.
Right.
That's fantastic. I had no idea. Joe, what was that again back there?
Starting fluid.
Starting fluid.
Which is, if you need a little jumper and it's sputtering and it's almost ready to start, starting fluid. When you have the back panel off, you'll see where the carburetor hole is, where the butterfly is. Give it a spray in there. Start it up.
Wonderful. Joe, thank you so much. Let's not make this a year thing. Let's make this a couple times a year thing. We'll start there. We'll try. I appreciate your time, Joe. And for people who want to come here to see you, what's the address?
We're at 5329 North Milwaukee. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 9 to 3.
And phone number if they want to call you up and ask Joe.
773-631-5966.
It's like you practiced that, Joe. Well done. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. That's the Chicago scene for today here in Jefferson Park at H&B True Value. Come see my friend Joe. We'll see you later. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.